For Module 9, I looked at the percentage that compared the rates between non-Africans and Africans, and I found that it said that they had the largest death rates from homicide among all racial and ethnic groups. I'm going to evaluate 2 questions I had over these rates. 1, are blacks killing each other or are whites killing them as claimed in the Black Lives Matter movement? My second question is, if blacks are indeed killing blacks, then if their rates of Christianity are so high, shouldn't faith decrease crime rates? I speculate that blacks kill more blacks and that homicide rates are actually associated with poverty and stress and not the African American culture itself. If Christianity rates are high among poverty areas, then cops must be more lenient in the areas and thus gives people the opportunity to create homicidal events. So religion does affect crime rates, but not enough to have significant change in the rates. First, I'm going to see if my claim that blacks do indeed kill more of their own than any other racial group, including whites, is factual. On the FBI's website, it shows the percentages of crime rates in 2016 over murder, and they show the statistics that blacks kill more blacks. Also, it shows that whites kill more whites. This proves that, in fact, blacks do kill more blacks and is why the death by homicide is so high. This also proves that the whites do not kill more blacks. In fact, they kill more of their own racial group, so whites are not killing the majority of blacks. In another article by New York Post titled, "All That Kneeling Ignores the Real Cause of Soaring Black Homicides" by Heather McDonald states, contrary to the Black Lives Matter narrative, the police have much more to fear from black males than black males have to fear from the police. In 2015, a police officer was 18.5 times more likely to be killed by a black male than an unarmed black male was to be killed by a police officer. Today, white cops are accused of killing most blacks in the Black Lives Matter movement, but the facts show that in reality, blacks kill each other. This shows also that cops are more likely to be killed by blacks rather than blacks being killed by cops. This represents that cops are not killing because of racial tensions they believe exist, but in reality, people are just scared. In actuality, cops are more likely to die, so they have to be more careful in dealing with the unknown situation. So this concludes that blacks do kill more blacks. Now I'm going to go into the facts whether faith should decrease homicide. I found from an article, "Does Religion Really Reduce Crime?" by Paul Heaton, where many threads from sociologists and criminologists are examining whether religion had an effect on crime. It states that law enforcement is more stringent in areas of high religiosity. These estimates may represent a lower bound estimate of the true effects of religion. His tables show that religion doesn't change the rates of crime. Poverty and unemployment have a more significant effect. This proves that yes, religion is still very prevalent, but since it is the law enforcement that's being more lenient, this gives people in the area a higher chance to commit the homicides. This also proves that religion isn't the key factor to decrease crime because it is heavily affected by poverty and unemployment. Another key factor from the data he collected for this study concluded that the graphs of data indicated that religious adherence responds negatively to an increase in crime rate, although this relationship is not statistically significant. This also proves that religion does not decrease crime rates as effectively as one would think. So this proves that religious rates can be high while also maintaining a high crime rate. In another part of his analysis over his research, it suggests that religious membership is negatively affected by increases in several types of crime. Although for the 2 broadest measures, violent and property crimes, the relationship is not statistically significant. This provides evidence as to why crime rates are not significantly lowered by religion. This proves that religion does heavily affect some areas of crime, but the biggest portion of all crimes, violent and property crimes, does not significantly affect it. Therefore, results in almost no effect in the overall crime rates when compared to religion. Lastly, he's concluded that alternatively, it may be the case that significant social and community pressure must exist for religion to deter crime, and such pressure is more likely to exist in highly religious communities and is less likely to occur in areas with greater population. This evidence directly relates to the U.S. Census Bureau statistical belief over poverty areas, saying that poverty areas have high concentrations of poor persons, showing that poverty areas have greater population, which proves the conclusion made by Heaton that areas with greater population do not have high-pressure religion to help reduce crimes. The statistical brief also showed that more blacks live in poverty areas than non-poverty areas. This also relates that poverty could be the main reason for a high percentage in homicide among blacks. Since the majority of the population in the poverty areas is black, homicides must therefore be conducted between others in the neighborhood.